Hello everyone. I am making this video because I've been asked to show you how to do counter pickles, or aka fermented pickles, or in my family we call them Polish pickles. And basically it is something that you make a brine, and it is something that you let ferment or sit for 3 to 7, 8, 9, depending on what your preference is regarding what you would like it to taste like. So here we go. I'm going to first start off with telling you what you're going to need. And so I have this quart jar filled with water at the moment. There's 6 cups in there, and the ratio for that brine is 4 cups water, preferably filtered pure water, not from the city, not city water, and 2 tablespoons non-iodized salt, and I use pink Himalayan. Okay, I just think that it's better for you. It has vitamins and it has minerals, and if you're going to use salt, you might as well get the best. And remember, in the fermentation process, the good bacteria uses the salt to create a ferment, and so it is not bad for you. It is not something that causes high blood pressure, etc. It is used in the process. Okay, and I have obviously a measuring spoon. I have 2 grape leaves, and these are used for the tannins that exist in the leaf. And the tannins help keep the pickles more crisp. Then we have pickling cucumbers, garlic, a weight, mustard seed, pickling salt, fresh dill, more dill, and that's what we need at the moment. And this is what I'm going to do. I am going to put this on hold, and I am going to make the brine and start adding in some of the things in the jar, and I'll be right back. Okay, I started cutting up the pickling cucumbers, and I wanted to come back to you guys before putting some things in the jar to make a couple of points. You can cut pickling cucumbers is however you like them. In other words, your preference. Now, I sometimes cut them in half or cut them into pieces, because this one was a larger one, or sometimes just leave them whole. Very important. You have to take the ends off. You clip this off like this, you see? You need to do that because there's bacteria in the ends that can disrupt the process and make them soggier. So that is my recommendation. Some people just take the ends off and then put slits in the sides if you want a full cuke pickle at the end. And so let me start putting things in the jar. So basically, I've made the brine. This was 6 cups water, and there's 3 tablespoons of salt. Remember, the ratio is 4 to 2. 4 cups water, 2 tablespoons iodized salt. So I made that brine. And what I will do is I will throw some garlic on the bottom, and then I am going to put some fresh dill down there. I will add some mustard seed and pickling spice. Now, I am not going to give you exact measurements because this is your preference, or you could omit these, but I recommend the dill and the garlic. But again, it is how you would like it to taste. So what I'm going to do is throw in about a tablespoon of each, and then I'm going to start putting the cukes in the jar, fitting them tightly, and I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, this jar, which is 2 quarts, by the way, is pretty packed. And I'm just going to spin it a little so you can see what I've done. I've done them up and down. I've done some sideways, as you can see. And there is, you do not have to make this pretty. I know there are some people out there that are going to want to. I understand that. In my experience with this, however you can get as many in there. And this is the thing. Now, in fermenting, you need to make sure that the vegetables stay under the brine. Now, I'm going to take this piece of dill out so you can see. But I have done it in such a way that it's holding all of these pieces down. So when I pour the brine in, the only thing that should float is maybe a couple of pieces of dill and some of the, the seeds in the pickling spice. I will add the grape leaf in a second, and I will also, for hee-haws, use the weight. And this is just as things start to ferment and they bubble, that nothing comes to the surface and gets exposed outside of the water. Again, if that happens, you can, if there is a like a grayish foam, you can skim that off and then make sure you keep things thereafter under the brine. If it's pink, I would start over. And again, so we want to make sure all of it stays under the brine. It's super important to do that for fermenting. And you don't want to ruin your batch. So I'm also going to still use the grape leaf because I want the tannins to keep the pickles crisp. I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, I have poured the brine in, and then I topped it with 2 grape leaves. I kind of just folded them to keep them in there. It's also, this is like your double reassurance that it's staying under the brine. The grape leaf can poke out a little bit because of the tannins. And then the triple is going to be my weight. Isn't this a beautiful ceramic weight? There's an artisan on Etsy that makes these things, and you just put that on top. So as you can see, everything is under the brine. The seeds, those are the pickling spices. That is absolutely fine if it's above the brine. And then I'm going to add a piece of cloth. You could use parchment, you could use wax. You should have a barrier. And then I am going to loosely put this on. I'll be right back. Okay, so the top is on now semi-loosely. And after the second, so the third day, I would take this off and check, taste the cucumber. It will be a pickle by then, and see if that's the taste you like. If you would like it to go longer, put everything back in, keep going, check it on the 4th, 5th, 6th day. It all depends. Sometimes I'm a 4th day person, sometimes I'm a 3rd, so it depends on various different conditions. Every day I would come here and I would unlock it. So I would open it up, which is called burping it, and let the gases escape. You could also choose to use what they call a pickle pipe, and I use the pickle pipes usually for the 1 quart jars. With this amount of vegetables, I want to make sure that all of the fluid stays in. So I don't want to, what's the good word? I don't want to mess around with that. In other words, I would rather use this method, which I have to burp every single day, than use this, which does have a little, opening like a baby nipple would. And you would put like one of the rings on it, but the larger one. And that will let the gases escape. It will also sometimes have fluid come out the top. So again, that's preference. The amount of days that you let it go is your preference. I know people who like to do it for 2 weeks. And then when the process is done, when you think that you have, your ideal pickle, then you would take this off, put a regular, you could use this kind of lid or a metal lid, and put it in the fridge. And that could last for quite a few weeks. They're not going to last that long in this household. So, but just in case. But anyways, so that is pickle fermentation, counter pickles, Polish pickles. This was a request from my dear friend Kimberly. Kimberly, I hope you enjoyed this, and for everyone else as well, I hope you enjoyed. Have a blessed day. See you next time.